So I've got a short synopsis of what it means for individual business owners from the budget today. So not great news for those individuals who own and run a limited company and takes out income from their company using a mixture of salary and dividends. Then there is actually going to be an increase of 2p in the pound on any dividends you take out of the company. So that means that when you take £1 out of your limited company, not only have you paid 19 or 25% corporation tax on it already, you're now going to pay not just 8.75%, but 10.75%. So in summary, each £1 you take out of your limited company, assuming that you are a basic rate tax payer, you're actually paying 36p in tax. So that's something that you'll need to talk with your accountant about, whether dividend and salary mix is the correct way for you individually, or whether more of your income should come via salary going forward, because that margin between salary and dividend is now thinner than ever, and each individual company will have a different outcome and a different tax calculation of what is the most beneficial for you. Now, next, for employers and employees, the national minimum wage is going up again next year from April. So from April next year, someone who's on full-time salary is going to be on just under £25,000 a year. That's 24,800. Now, for employers, not only do you have to fund that about £1,000 extra if your staff is on national minimum wage, but you have to fund the employer's NI as well. So if you have, for example, you're a small employer and you have 5 team members all on national minimum wage, then your bill could go up by about £6,000 a year for those 5 members. That includes your employer's NI. Now, as a staff member or an employee, yes, you will get £1,000 pay rise for next year, but you'll actually only see £720 of that, because you'll have to account for the tax and the employee NI as well. Now, also, if you are an employee and you're currently saving money into your pension via salary sacrifice, you're currently saving income tax and you're saving NI, and your employer also saves the employer's NI. But from 2029, I know it's a little bit far ahead, but you'll no longer save that much tax. Your employer is going to have to pay employer's NI at 15% or whatever the prevailing rate is then, and you're going to have to pay employee's NI, which is currently 8%, but maybe more in future. So that means if you are putting, let's say, £10,000 into a pension pot via a salary sacrifice, then your employer will have to then pay £1,500 employer's NI, and you will have to pay £800 employee's NI on that pension sacrifice. Now, it's not great news for investors and landlords either. For landlords, the tax on your rental profits is going up by 2p in the pound. So not only is your mortgage interest already disallowed from the Section 24 changes that's already happened, and on top of the Renters Reform Bill that was just passed, you now have to find another 2% on those rental margins that you make. Airbnb owners may also not escape. It's not quite clear whether that tourist tax, which is being introduced to hotels, is going to apply also to Airbnb and other serviced accommodation. So watch this space. And then for other investors, if you are contributing or investing an amount into an ISA, the amount you can put into a cash ISA is now reduced down from £20,000 to £12,000. Now, the amount that you can reduce into an ISA overall is still 20, it's just they're forcing you to put £8,000 of that into a stocks and shares ISA, thereby kind of forcing you to invest and increase your risk appetite, because they believe that this might kickstart the UK economy into better growth, I presume. Now, for individuals, a couple of things. For the last few years, the government have been promoting and banging the electric vehicle drum. Very short-sighted, because whilst they've been giving you loads of tax relief to buy an electric car, they've now realised that all these people who buy electric cars, who's paying the petrol and the diesel tax? They've got a really big hole that they need to fill. So to fill that hole, guess what they've done? They're now starting to charge EV owners a mileage tax, if you will, a mileage charge. They've said 3p per mile, but they're going to charge a mileage charge for every mile that you do in your electric vehicle, or even a hybrid vehicle, which is half of the 3p, is 1.5p per mile for a hybrid. So not sure how they're going to track that at the moment, but they've got a hole to fill, and now they've given with one hand and they're taking away with another. The second thing that might be of note is the 2-child cap that was introduced by the Conservative government way back when has been removed. So the benefits you now receive is no longer capped at just 2 children. You could have multiple children and get higher and higher benefits. Not sure whether that will change people's behaviours into having more children or not, but that cap has been removed, which means that the more children you have, the higher benefits you can expect to receive. So I hope you found that quick run through of the autumn budget useful for those of us who are business owners, investors and landlords. It's not supposed to be a detailed run through of everything, just a quick synopsis so that you're up to date with what's happening in the budget.